Friends I haven't come acquainted with yet surround me. I try not to lose the ones I got. Like, I lose them. Sorry. Like, where'd they go?
Been through the pages of my old journals. With every turn, another memory.
Hello, and welcome to Journaling Through the Years, episode 92. I am Leah Liz, and this is a series on this channel wherein I read from my journals that I've been writing in since I was old enough to hold a pencil. And we're still in this journal, and today we're actually going to read an entry from it. But before we get started, just as a reminder, check out the merchandise on Bonfire as examples. All the links are in the description below, as well as for the Patreon and my website. So check those out. I love you. The sky is filled with an unending blue. The trees reach so high, they almost scrape the sky. Stories, nope, not stories, but that would be cool. Stones lie the path of a dry river. Water rushes down in my imagination. The stump I rest upon by the old river, chattering voices behind me mingle with the wind until I am alone in a vast world. We are together, yet I've separated myself. My life reveals itself to me, yet it is hidden. So I am unsure and confused of the path I shall take, choices I have to make. The world is wide. Opportunities are ready to happen. Friends I haven't come acquainted with yet surround me. I try not to lose the ones I got. Like, I lose them. Sorry. Like, where'd they go? I stand tall and proud, yet on the inside I shrivel inside, afraid of pain. I step down from my spot, find myself running to the warmth and memory of those I love. Okay. So I believe this was written about a time when I was a camp counselor or a junior counselor or a SILT at Camp Ravencliff in Garberville, or outside Garberville. And I don't know if it was written in the moment. It says here that, like, I might have written it in the moment. So this might have been, I think a lot of things, I think I go back and forth. I think I probably skipped and wrote a bunch of stuff on this page and then started writing from the beginning, because it seems like a lot of this stuff is, I think I'm going back and forth, but I think I opened the journal to this page and skipped a bunch of pages and then went back and started writing from the beginning once the school year had started. So this was in that summer. And what I find, I remember sitting on this, we were on a day off, and we'd gone to we had this, on our days off, we would go into Garberville and we do laundry and we buy food, and we're teenagers, so what's food is just like whatever, fast food. We go to Nacho Mamas or whatever. We just had to hang out. We'd all kind of like spread out and do our own thing, like with certain groups, you know. And then we would spend the night at Camp Richardson Grove, not Camp Richardson, but Richardson Grove, which was like a campsite with like a bunch of little cabin, like little, you could reserve an area, and there's a bathroom nearby, and we take our sleeping bags, and we'd have like maybe a fire or whatever, and we just hang out and eat the food that we bought at the camp, in Garberville during the day, and just hang out and be away from camp and just be with each other. And this is a memory I had. I remember sitting on this rock on that day, and it was in the evening. It wasn't quite dark, and everybody was hanging out talking, and I stepped aside, and I was writing in my journal, and I was writing about it. So I remember that, and I remember that my two friends at the time, D and T. D's a boy or a man now, and T is a woman now. Then she was a girl, a teenager. But they were like, I look back and they're probably from that time period two of my closest best friends from camp. And then we remained like all the way through college and 20s. There remained a closeness. Kind of have parted a little bit in recent years, but there's still a closeness, I think, even if we saw each other again or something, if we were brought together. Yeah, I've never lost touch with those two. And so those two were, and there was one other, Jay, male. Male, that sounds funny. He was also a boy. I'm not saying their full names, so I'm trying to say their gender or the gender that they go by. Pretty sure that they are, this was before we used the pronouns they, their, and so I'm pretty sure these people, at least when I knew them, and I think so now, it's the binary, the he and the she. So anyways, Jay was a he, Jay was a boy, he's now a man. D was a boy, and now he's a man. And T was a girl, and now she's a woman, or a lady. She's a lady. And they were the three were probably the closest camp friends, my camp best friends, I would say, looking back and after all this time. And I remember looking over at them, and then they walked over to me to and were talking to me, and then either me or someone else, I remember I said, let's take a picture, and there's me sitting on the rock. No. No, I'm getting it all wrong. I was sitting on the rock, and then they came over. But before that, there was a counselor that was in his 20s that was sitting on the rock, on the same rock. And me and D and I think T were standing around and took pictures, like, with him. Like he was like a not like a celebrity, but like he was like the Statue of Liberty. Like, let's go take a picture by him. Like, so we can tell our friends later. No, but it was that stone, and I remember, or it was a tree stump, I should say. And it was by this dry riverbed. There's no water in it, and hence the imagination of the water coming down, me imagining that. And I do remember that D and T came over and were talking to me, and I think that they knew that I had this break with depression, and so they were just coming over. I thought they were just being friends, which they were, but I think they also wanted to, like, were afraid that I was kind of pulling away, and so they came over to talk to me and to pull me back in and get my interest. Now, that's really sweet of them, but I think at the time I was just really writing things down. But I do think it's interesting, and it's grateful that they came over, because I did say, I stand tall and proud, yet on the inside I shrivel inside, afraid of pain. And then I run to my friends to distract myself. And I think it goes along with this kind of, I think, talking about this in the last couple of weeks, this idea of wanting to be able to share myself with other people and get healthy, but being kind of silenced in that way. And so I was made to feel like, look good on the outside, but don't do anything on the inside. Just bury it. No one wants to hear it. We're going to devalue that. But these friends were coming over and saying, come with us. We want to make sure you're okay. And we like you. We love you. And so I love them right back, even all these years later. And like I say to my friends, D, T, J, and to you, you matter. Your life matters. You are loved, and you are worthy of love. And always remember to love your thrive and find your sunshine.